In this edition of UTA Spotlight, we take a look at upcoming plans for the new University Center.
Additionally, we'll give you information for voting in this year's U.S. primary elections and more. Welcome to UTA Spotlight. We bring UTA highlights to you. I'm Cameron Harper.
And I'm Sydney Porter. Thank you for joining us. The Student Senate recently passed Renovate Renew, a resolution to renovate the University Student Center. Resolution 2403 aims to renovate and expand the UC through an increase to the UTA Student Union fee. Improvements to the building would include a modernization, student lounge and meeting spaces, a dedicated resource center, study spaces, more dining options, new technology, and more. Since 1985, the student union fee has been $39, but if passed, the fee would increase to $150 per spring and fall semester. The resolution was passed unanimously by the Student Senate, but it will still need to be voted on by the larger student community in April's upcoming campus election. Student government reps shared with us some upcoming plans for the new UC.
Yeah, so as far as renovations look like, I know a lot of it will go to facilities, so you would think like lights, they'll have more improved lights. Even talking about the way flyers are posted in the UC, maybe replacing that with TV screens, expanding dining options, so having more space for Connection Cafe, and bringing in more retail.
I think that there is an interest for this more than just the faculty. There's also all of the offices that are in the basement downstairs. Given that there are some issues, some structural issues, and it's generally an old office space, there is favor for it.
I know conversations do concern like demolition of basically about, I think, 3/4 of the university building, not including like where the Leadership Center and like Rosebud Theater are, but where like Connection Cafe starts all the way to where the post office is would be demoed, and they would build up a new UC from there.
While the opposition isn't necessarily too powerful, from what I've noticed at least, it is there. There are people who, especially people who may have financial problems, are not ready to handle a fee increase. Even if it may seem relatively small to people who can handle it, it might be a bit too heavy for some.
Though the renovation might be a great addition to campus, discussions about what this would mean for the entire UTA community is encouraged. Maverick Media reporter Alo Strother asked students how they would feel about the possible upcoming fee.
Hello, UTA students and Mavericks. I'm Alo, and I need to let you guys on a little secret. Come closer. Did you guys know that the UC is going to be raising tuition on us by next fall? Only by $100. I say only, but it could even be more than that. So the UC is implementing a tuition raise for their renovations, etc. So what are we going to be seeing out of that? Are we going to get a new restaurant? Are we going to get new furniture? Perhaps like a pool table or a ping pong set? Well, we are around asking students what they feel about the situation and what they could bring to the table or even take away.
I feel like we do need a new UC, and it's not going to be for free. So why not just go ahead and renovate it, charge us a little bit more, and we have a better UC.
I'm already really broke. I don't want to pay for that.
If, they continue on with this, do you think that the UC should at least add something or probably take away something that's not beneficial to students?
For sure. I've seen some models, I think, on Instagram. There's like a new UC Instagram, and I've seen how they want to change it. I definitely think that we should have more additions, maybe even more tiers, definitely new furniture, and I feel like they should do a whole 180, I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like if they were to charge more money, I feel like they should add another restaurant, because eating the same few things on campus, living on the dorms, it gets pretty tiresome. And as someone who doesn't have reliable transportation, it gets tired, and I get bored of eating Subway and Chick-fil-A, no hate to them, but I'm getting tired.
Yeah, I feel like we could add a couple restaurants. We have pretty good options now, but we could just diversify that, maybe add some ping pong tables, some pool tables, just make it more comfortable for students.
To learn more about the new UC, visit UTA Student Center website.
The Fab Lab is becoming a staple for the UTA community. This past Valentine's Day, they hosted a homemade card making workshop. UTA News reporter Emily Robinson has the story.
The sights and sounds of the UTA Fab Lab fill the air as another day of crafting is in full swing. Today, students are participating in a Valentine's block printing workshop. Perla Vargas explains how they make their prints.
The way that we do it here with CNC Tech is we use a laser cutter and we engrave the negative part of our design and only maintain the positive part raised. We then cut out the wood block in order to create our printing plates.
While the Fab Lab does have special events like this regularly, the lab is also open to those wanting to practice their own kind of creativity.
You know, we have open work hours where people can come in, and if they have a project idea in mind, we can help them execute that.
With areas designated for woodworking, sewing, glasswork, and so much more, the UTA Fab Lab is a crucial creative outlet for students on campus. Aruba Islam, a student participating in the workshop, had this to say.
I feel like I don't take a lot of advantage of the opportunities around campus, especially Fab Lab, because part of me is intimidated by the things I am very unskilled at. So when I saw this opportunity, I was like, okay, I definitely need to take advantage of this.
Emily Robinson for UTA News.
To learn more and see other events coming up at the Fab Lab, visit the University Fab Lab website.
On Fat Tuesday, the official day for Mardi Gras, students were invited out to Brazos Park for a Mardi Gras celebration. UTA News reporter Willow Risler was on the scene.
Grab some beads and grab some grub. The annual celebration of Mardi Gras came to campus once again this year. Called Mardi Gras Madness, put on by the student org Excel Campus Activities and the University of Texas at Arlington's Department of Student Affairs. Zelali Valles, one of the program directors of Excel, tells us more.
Yeah, so outside currently we have Mardi Gras Madness. It is an event that UTA has put on in the past. It is something that our students felt that should be brought back to campus. The last time that we did it was spring of 2022. We didn't have it last year, but our students really felt like it was something that we needed to bring back to campus.
Mardi Gras, which is French for Fat Tuesday, is rooted deeply in religious traditions, mostly that of Catholics, but is observed by many other sections of Christians as a whole.
I love getting to celebrate Fat Tuesday with all my friends and family. It's really that last indulgence of the culture and the food and all the things that we love before going into Lent and Ash Wednesday tomorrow, to then be able to give up something for several weeks to more so focus my relationship on Christ.
Signing off for UTA News, this is Willow Risler.
Early voting for the U.S.-Texas primary elections is here. Here is what you need to know about voting in this year's upcoming election. Early voting for the March 5th primary started up yesterday and will end on March 1st. There will be 49 early voting locations for registered voters. One location being the Maverick Activity Center. Students who are 18 and older and have a valid ID and Social Security are eligible to vote. For the upcoming primary election, Tarrant County citizens will cast their votes for the president, a U.S. senator, and 6 U.S. representatives, 3 Texas Supreme Court justices, and several other state and local positions. Additionally, citizens can use the Tarrant County Voter Lookup website to find polls close to them. You can check your registration status through the Secretary of State website. A UTA political science student shares why students should vote in this critical election.
I feel like this is a very volatile time, at least in world history and as far as the U.S. goes. So having a new leader come through and establish himself in the world it cannot be understated. There is a huge new young generation that is becoming more politically aware and involved. A lot of politicians in general are older, so they appeal to the older crowd. And I'm not saying for old people to suddenly turn 20 overnight, dye their hair black and become cool. But of course, just getting out of the times instead of just going to rallies, maybe even showing up on campus.
To learn more about voting in Texas, visit votingtexas.org.
A local nonprofit in Arlington is helping uninsured residents with health care. They allowed me in their facilities to learn more about what they offer. Don't let the expenses of health insurance be the reason you neglect your health. For uninsured and underinsured patients of all ages, Open Arms is here to help. Located in Arlington, Texas, Open Arms has been up and running for 13 years now. The nonprofit clinic is staffed by volunteer professionals and 100% funded by grants and donations.
And we have over 3,000, pushing 4,000 active patients. They don't all come in all the time, but we are here as much as they need them. We are open 5 days a week to take care of patients, but not in person. We have patient appointments 2 days a week on Tuesday afternoons and Friday mornings, and we can handle up to 6 providers at one time. And that means a lot of patients can be seen during that time.
Where they started out with general medicine, as of today, they have specialists of GYN, orthopedic, dermatologists, podiatrists, physical therapists, emotional counseling, interpreters, admin, and social work interns to help patients out in the community.
I started working here about 2 years ago, or rather I should say volunteering here, because everybody that is here pretty much takes the time out of their day to come in and try to provide healthcare for these patients. I firmly believe that being healthy is not for the wealthy and it should be accessible to everybody.
More information can be found on openarmshealthclinic.org, where you can learn more about Open Arms' mission to Arlington, Texas, getting care, becoming a volunteer, or even making a donation. Open Arms' annual gala auction will be held March 2nd, 2024, 6 to 10 p.m. at Ruth Jackson Center in Grand Prairie, Texas. Tickets are also available and can be purchased on the website. I've been Sydney Porter, Ace Sentinel News. If you need health care services or want more information, visit openarmshealthclinic.org. Don't go anywhere. We take a look at UTA's softball season opener.
Also, we dive into the men's basketball game against Stephen F. Austin. We'll be right back.
COVID-19 has changed how we stomp the yard and feel the beat. Now it's time to take the first step that lets us get back to strolling instead of scrolling. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts. As COVID-19 vaccines become available, you may have questions.
Is it safe?
Should I get it? Is it free? It's okay to have questions. Now get the facts about COVID-19 vaccines at getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your fam.
Welcome back to UTA Spotlight. Let's check in with UTA Athletics. As UTA softball enters preseason, here's a look from their season opening match against the University of Tennessee. The number 2 ranked team in the nation, the Tennessee Vols, faced the UTA softball team on Friday. From the start, UTA was unable to match the energy of their opponents. 2 Tennessee pitchers combined had a 4-hit shutdown, 9 strikeouts in 5 innings, ending in a score of 15-0. UTA head coach Kara Dill praised her team for fighting through this challenging face-off.
Have some fight. So I thought our team did a really good job. I think if you ever looked out on the field, you wouldn't know that we were losing. I think they did a good job of continuing to compete and continuing to fight and stick with the plan and stay with each other. So I really was encouraged by that. And just the reps that they're getting against such a quality team is really going to benefit us down the road.
To stay up to date with UTA softball, follow their social media at UTA Mavs SB. As men's basketball gains momentum, here's a recap of the thrilling game against SFA.
UTA men's basketball came away with a win over Stephen F. Austin in the City of Arlington celebration game by a score of 71-63. It was a day of first as UTA wore blue jerseys at home for the first time this season and played freshman guard Chauncey Gibson for his collegiate debut. Gibson instantly became a major role in the offense with 12 points, which tied veterans such as Dejuan Gordon and Aaron Cash. SFA fought back in the second half, but couldn't finish in overtime as the Mavs outscored the extra time by 10-2. Head coach KT Turner remains proud of the guys for the win despite the sudden changes in the lineup.
I'm extremely excited how we started the game out, how we played most of the game. We made some mistakes in the second half. We had a lot of guys step up. Then when overtime came, I'm just really pleased how our guys fought and dug in and played hard and made plays, and they could have folded. They could have easily folded, and they didn't. But I'm pleased with how we played tonight. We do got a lot of things we got to get better at, but overall, I'm pleased.
Jet Nelson with the Maverick Report.
To follow UTA men's basketball, visit utamavs.com. As name, image, and likeliness grow, UTA Athletics Department held an NIL education event. UTA News reporter Daniel Castana has the event.
As name, image, and likeness landscape grows, UT Arlington Athletics and the City of Arlington hosted an NIL education event for the community. Businesses and individuals were invited to learn about NIL and how to support student athletes.
The purpose of this event is to educate our Arlington community on what NIL is and opportunities they can provide for our student athletes here at UTA.
The event was targeted for businesses, so UTA Athletics presented how to utilize NIL and support student athletes through their business. Here's what one business had to say about the event.
It can impact the businesses, like just with getting the word out of the business. And for us as a nonprofit, just with volunteers and students, and then what we do, it's just another way for us to kind of get what we do out in the community, but it's also helping the students.
The event did not only impact businesses, but the community of Arlington. It gave awareness to NIL within the community. Also, it helped grow the relationship between athletics and the community.
Yeah, anytime you have an NIL event, it's an opportunity to educate the community about NIL and work with our partners and everyone that's involved in the overall athletic community and let them know that NIL is very important to our growth here as an athletic department.
As the event slowed, participants finished eating and socializing as they turned their focus on the basketball game following the event. Daniel Castagna, UTA News.
To learn how to support student athletes, visit opendoors.com/UTA Mavericks. That's all we have for sports. We'll be right back with more UTA Spotlight.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
As it nears the end of Black History Month, the month's biggest events are still to come. The Center of African American Studies, the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life, and Black Student Organizations honors Black history by holding various campus-wide events. The Center of African American Studies has hosted their 12th annual conference in celebration of 50 years of hip-hop. The event was held in the UC Rosebud Theater, and guests included Big Daddy Kane and DJ Ninth Wonder. Local radio station K104 was also in attendance.
In celebration of Valentine's Day, UTXL hosted Lover Mavericks Version, a movie night for lovers and friends to watch The Princess and the Frog. UTXL collaborated with the Intercultural Student Engagement Center to highlight the significance and history of the Creole culture in this classic animated movie.
They have the opportunity to bring out a friend, a lover, or even an enemy, wherever you like. So they get to get all of the free movie, free food, free giveaway, as well as just being able to have connections and do stuff with someone you really love or you really appreciate. And you get to learn about the Creole culture behind that as well, too. So that's the benefit.
Lastly, BSA is hosting its annual Black History Month Gala, highlighting Black experiences throughout campus from 6 to 9:30 p.m. on Friday in the UC Rio Grande Ballroom. For a full schedule of the rest of this month's events, visit the Center of African American Studies website.
With temperatures on the rise, Maverick Media reporter Karina Laurelis talks to students about their spring fits.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Karina Laurelis. We're here on UTA campus today and we're interviewing people on their style and seeing who's best dressed on UTA today. Let's go.
Can I hold it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
My sweater is probably from Classic Marshalls on sale. My pants are Levi's and my shoes are Converse's.
Forever 21. Yeah. And this I think I got off Shein. I want to ask you what the inspiration behind your outfit is today.
I actually designed my own clothes and this was just something I put on.
I like the whole like girly pink vibes. I like to mix and match and just like play with everything. I feel like you're interviewing me right now.
Yeah, it's really funny.
I just love the design. It's not like, it's something that is unique and makes me unique as well.
I agree.
And I try to keep myself more like a old money style.
My other dress is like big and green and puffy and it's in my duffel bag because it's just too big to wear to classes. If you could describe your style in 3 words, what would it be?
Decent, gentle, and at the same time cool.
Okay, a cool gentleman.
Girly pink and just unpredictable.
Comfortable, basic, brown. What do you usually look for when you're picking your outfits and your style? How would you describe that?
Actually, I don't like the bright colors, so I go with pastel shades.
Bold. I also like playing with blacks and like dark colors.
Probably Pinterest, to be honest. I do a lot of Pinterest, Instagram.
Instagram, just because it's so easy to just scroll past. I get also from YouTube videos.
Well, guys, there you have it. We saw a lot of great style, unique outfits today that look super good, especially for Valentine's Day. Who do you think was best dressed?
New for UTA Spotlight, we're highlighting various student organizations across campus. This week, we'll take a look at student government.
Yeah, so when someone asks me what student government is, I think the best way to put it is the liaison between students and faculty. So one ideal that we really embrace with student government is shared governance, and that essentially looks like bringing the voices of the students in advocacy to the administration so they know what best practices are, they know what the students are feeling. So if you wanted to put it in like simple terms, I think I would classify it as like a pulse check. So like we pulse check the campus. So student government is modeled after the federal government. So we ended up having 3 branches of government. In the legislative branch, you have student senators where it depends on the size of the college because they proportion it to the student senate that way. But you have like science senators, liberal arts senators, and like business senators as well. And you have the Speaker of the Senate that heads that branch. And then as for the executive branch, that's more outreach based. So you'll see the External Relations Committee and the Legislative Relations Committee that kind of make up the executive branch and help with outreach there. And then finally, you have the judicial branch, which is comprised of the Election Supervisory Board and the Supreme Court, headed by our Chief Justice. Yeah, I mean, I'm a sophomore right now, and so last year I actually joined the Legislative Relations Committee of Student Government, and that was just because I was interested to get more involved on campus, and through the LRC, I got to meet so many different student leaders, and I got to build so many different skills that led me to where I am right now. I really do feel like without student government, I wouldn't have developed so much professional skills that I'm able to use not only in my role right now, but even just down the line when I do pursue my career, and I'm also interviewing for whatever else.
That's all we have for today for this edition of UTA Spotlight. To stay up to date with us, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at MavMediaUTA.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a highlight again. We'll leave you with a clip from our newest show, The Maverick Report, which will be premiering this week along with our music entertainment program, The Music Box. I'm Sydney Porter.
And I'm Cameron Harper. Thank you so much for joining us. See you next time.
Welcome to the Maverick Report, where we bring sports news to you. I'm Jet Nelson.
I'm Alan Mancias.
And I'm Maya Stovall.
Student athletes are the core of every team. Now we spotlight a student athlete who is a big performer and a leader in our community. This week's UTA Athlete Spotlight is Gia Adams. Gia returned to Texas after 2 seasons at Tennessee State, and as the starting shooting guard, she's averaging 12.7 points per game and reached 1,000 career points with a 15-point effort in the loss to Grand Canyon on Saturday. Gia is also a competitor in the classroom as she strives to become a leader in our community with a major in health science. Let's take a break from all the sports headlines and play a game of this or that. We are coming out hard for the first one. Who would you fire first, Dak Prescott or Mike McCarthy? I'm going to start with Mike McCarthy. You know, they were showing the faces of the Cowboys there. It was in the fourth quarter. They're trailing by more than 24 points, and Mike McCarthy just didn't have a response there for the Cowboys.
No, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go with Mike McCarthy as well. I think he basically just lied to Jerry Jones' face. But before the season, when they fired Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, he told Jerry Jones that we need to run the ball more and get the pressure off of Dak Prescott. He clearly didn't do that, as they still threw the ball more than they ran. Right. And then in the playoff game, they depended on Dak, and Dak bit them in the butt, and that's just how it goes.